I kissed the bricks. Let's talk about the Indy 500 mini marathon. Hello, fellow geeks, and welcome back to Running Geek Girl. My name is Heather, and I am glad you are here today. Now, in my quest to run a race in all 50 states in the U.S., I have often been told that the Indy 500 mini marathon is an absolute must-see race, and boy, was everybody right. I am so glad and so thankful to all of the people that suggested that to me. Not only was I able to check Indiana off of my checklist, but I experienced an absolutely amazing race that bills itself as the biggest spectacle in running. Now, the Indy 500 Mini is part of the Indy 500 Festival that takes place throughout the entire month of May in Indianapolis in order to celebrate the running of the Indy 500 race. I'll admit, I'm not 100% up on Indy car racing. We tend to watch more F1 in our house, but I am familiar with the Indy 500. That is still a bucket list item that I want to do, and so this was a definite no-brainer in signing up for this. So let's talk a little bit about how the race day went. Check it out. Once we got into town, we headed straight to the convention center so that I could pick up my bib at the race expo. At the same time, the State House Convention Center was also hosting Indianapolis Comic-Con. There were lots of people in cosplay, so I felt really at home. As you can see, there were a lot of different brands and stores represented at the expo, including Chevrolet, who provided the pace car that led out the race leaders. They also had a display of all of the medals from every single running of the Indy Mini 500. Made it to Indianapolis. I am in the same town as John Green, so I feel like I've accomplished something today. It's race day! We are in Corral S. Every corral that I'm in has been labeled the party corral, so no real plan for the day. I'm here to have fun. Let's do this. We are passing the 5K mark. I'm trying to keep it low and slow, but I'm going to try and pick up the pace just a touch. And the crowd support here is amazing. All right, catch up with you guys in a bit. The 10K mark, pace keeping steady. I think at about mile 7, I'm gonna start picking things up just a little bit more. About to refuel, and now I'm running on the speedway. past 15K. Still holding steady, but this is usually where I have to start really digging. So we'll see what happens from here. Man, oh my gosh. That was the most consistent half marathon I've ever run. And I haven't checked my final time, but I'm proud of what I did today.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh my gosh. Oh boy. I really pushed that last mile and a half. It felt good though. Now, gotta get my medal, check out Finish Line Festival.
Congrats.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you so much. There it is. Did it. So after I picked up my medal, we headed to the Finish Line Festival. There was live music, there was so much food, things to drink, there was beer, there were bouncy houses, there was a dance area, a reunion area. It was probably one of the coolest Finish Line festivals that I have been to thus far. And of course, no Indy 500 mini marathon is complete without a trip to the Indy 500 Museum, where we saw cars that have won every single Indy race since 1911. Tons of history and memorabilia, explanations behind the traditions. I highly recommend this if you get a chance to go there. So there you go. That was my experience on race day for the Indy 500 mini marathon. Now you may be asking yourself, what was my final finish time? And that is 2:27:08. For those of you keeping track, that is 2 minutes faster than the last half marathon that I ran back in the first part of April. So as you can see, I'm making small little changes and they are definitely paying off. I am super thankful to my coaches at Vert Run for just kind of pushing me and making sure that I'm staying on track for all of my goals, because really just kind of listening to the training that they're giving me, that's what's helping me make all these small improvements. And you know, they're not giant improvements, but I have always been the type to take baby steps for everything. So this is working out really, really well, and I'm very happy with the results. Overall, I could not be happier with the way this day went. The weather for me was absolutely perfect. It was about 60 degrees and overcast, so no sun beating down on me. It was humid, but not nearly as humid as it would have been back in Arkansas. So the weather felt absolutely nice. There was plenty of water and Gatorade on the course. There were tons of porta potties on the course. The entertainment was insane. About maybe every half mile, if not less than that, you had something new to see. There were people dressed up as robots, people dressed up in mascot costumes. There was a German polka band. There were cheerleaders. There were marching bands. There were bar bands who I'm not even sure were officially sanctioned by the race. They probably just pulled their stuff out to the street and just started playing. But just everywhere you looked, there was music. There were people cheering. There were dancers. There were spectators with signs. There was always something really cool to see. And then of course, the highlight of the course is getting to run on the Indy Motor Speedway, which was absolutely incredible. It really wasn't anything like I had pictured in my mind after seeing it on television and things like that. And it was huge. I mean, I just can't get over how big the whole seating area was, because they're trying to seat 200 to 400,000 people for the Indy 500 every year. So of course they'd have to have a lot of room, but man, they never convey exactly how big that place is. I also liked that the first mile on the Speedway was dedicated to Gold Star military families. They call it the Golden Mile, so that we could remember those who have been lost during the course of military service. And that was something that the race helps fund. And so they are always very very appreciative to the runners as they come through. You also saw a video of me and heard me mention kissing the bricks. This is an Indy 500 racing tradition. What happens is the winner of the Indy 500 car race, it's been a tradition for many years. There's lots of things that happen at the finish line that are all part of tradition, such as drinking milk. They get the Firestone cap put on their head. They get the Borg Warner wreath that they put around them. And one of the things that they do every year is the winner of the race, and usually their team or their mechanic will go with them. There is a strip of bricks from the original Indy Speedway from 100 years back. There's this strip of bricks that is still laying there. That is the start and finish line for the race. And the winner of the car race will go and kiss the bricks. And so everybody that runs the Indy 500 mini marathon will replicate that tradition as well. So everybody would stop, get down and kiss the bricks. They had TV cameras out there getting everybody. They have photographers, all sorts of stuff. So that's a huge part of the race, is getting to kiss the bricks. So if you're wondering what that's about, there's your explanation. The course itself, entirely flat. This is a very fast and flat course. The only thing that you could even really call a hill was the ramp going up into the motor speedway. That was probably the steepest thing that we had to run. Everything else, very flat, very easy to run, and like I said, very entertaining. So I really had no problem keeping my focus on this course. It was so fun to be a part of. Is there anything I would change about the race? Just a couple of things. First of all, you need to be aware that there is no fuel available at this race. They do not give out any type of fuel. So if you have to fuel for a half marathon, you are expected to keep that on your person. Or at least I never saw any fuel on the course. I'm sure nobody ever mentioned any fuel on the course, but there you have it. So if you need your fuel, you're going to have to bring it yourself. The second thing that I would change is they never gave any warning as to where the photographers were going to be. There's a lot of races that will do that. Maybe about 100 feet in front of the photographer, they'll put a sign up that says photographer ahead, or they'll have something playing on a speaker saying photographer ahead, just to kind of let you know that there's going to be photographer. Half the time I didn't even see where the photographer was. So there may not be a whole lot of photos of me during this race, and that's just because I would be running and have no idea where the photographer was. So I don't even know if I got a picture or not. So just kind of overall looking at the race course, I would rate it as excellent. It's fast, it's flat, it's entertaining. The crowd support is amazing. So if that's something that helps spur you along, then definitely this is one that you're going to check out. As far as value of the race, honestly, this is not one of the more expensive races, especially when you consider how large this race actually is, because both my husband and I were commenting on just how many people were everywhere. There were so many people involved and so many volunteers, and yet this is a very reasonably priced race, and you are definitely getting your money's worth. This is a great value for a half marathon, especially one of this size. And now taking a look at the swag that you get. First of all, of course, every race you are going to get some sort of a shirt. No exception here. This is the One America 500 Festival Mini Marathon. So it has the date on it. It has all the sponsors on the back. This is just a lightweight tee with long sleeves. So this is not one that I'm going to be able to wear for a little while, just because it is already hot here in the South. So it's going to be a bit before I'm able to wear sleeves, but I definitely will be able to wear this. This is a very soft material, very good quality. Second of all, you get a hat. This is the one that is the performance polyester. So very lightweight, moisture wicking, has the race logo on the front. It has the hashtag #WhyIMini. This is one that they like you to use a lot in social media. So explaining, hashtag #WhyIMini, and just talk about why you enjoy running the race. And just to pause for a second, there are a lot of people that have run this race multiple times. I talked to a woman on the course. She was on course for her 35th Indy Mini in a row. So shout out to her. And then of course there's the medals. So let's take a look at this. You have here the actual medal itself that has a picture of the Indy Speedway on it. It's surrounded by the Borg Warner wreath that gets put on the Indy winner, your checkered ribbon with the Indy Mini Marathon logo on it, and then a spot on the back has the greatest spectacle in running, and a spot right here to engrave. They did have engraving. If you had a PR, then they would engrave your time on there for you. There's quite a long line for that, and there was quite a long line for the free massages too, just saying. So the swag, as you can see, excellent. And of course the Finish Festival, again, I would rate this as excellent. There's a ton of different types of food, Runners get a free sample of beer. They sell beer tokens at a reasonable price. As you can see from the pictures, they had a long stretch of road right before you even got to the Finish Festival with tons of cookies, protein bars, Gatorade, water, dates, oranges, bananas, just a ton of stuff. So they really do take care of the runners after the race. So would I recommend this race? Absolutely. I am so glad that I did it. I would love to do this one again. That's how much I enjoyed it. This was an excellent, excellent race. I would recommend this to anyone that is looking to run a fun and fast race. Anybody that is looking for something with not a lot of hills and with a lot of atmosphere. So this, 2 thumbs way up. Absolutely love this one. So there you go. Those are my thoughts on the Indy 500 mini marathon. Is this a race that you have run before, or is it one that you would consider running yourself? Why don't you let me know down in the comments below? Don't forget that you can subscribe to this channel and be up to date on all of the running adventures that I'm having all the time. Just click that button below. It doesn't cost you a thing. You could also follow me on social media. All the links are down in the description. You can find me across all platforms under the name Running Geek Girl. Thank you so much for watching. I'm so glad you could be here today. Remember to laugh hard, run fast, and be kind. See you later.